I need you to listen to this carefully. What I'm about to tell you is going to make you uncomfortable. In fact, just researching this story made me feel sick. So consider this your warning. Watch this at your own risk. Imagine opening your computer and seeing an advertisement that says, "I am looking for a well-built man 18 to 30 years old to be slaughtered." And then it gets worse. It says, "I will carve you up and I will eat you right in front of your eyes." You'd think this is a joke, right? Some sick internet prank? It wasn't. This ad was written by a man named Armin Meiwes. And today, we are diving into the twisted mind of the Rotenburg Cannibal. Armin didn't start out as a monster. He was born in Germany into a life that was suffocating. His father left when he was just 8 years old, leaving Armin alone with a mother who was controlling, dominating, and obsessive. She never let him out of her sight. But here's where it gets creepy. They lived in a massive estate in the middle of nowhere. This house had 44 rooms. 44 rooms. Imagine a little boy wandering through those empty halls, completely isolated from the world. The loneliness broke him. He started hallucinating. He invented an imaginary friend named Frankie just to have someone to talk to. But Armin had a dark fear. He was terrified that everyone he loved would eventually leave him, just like his dad did. So he came up with a solution, a horrifying theory. He believed that if he ate his friend Frankie, then Frankie would become a part of him forever. He would never be alone again. This wasn't just a childhood thought. As Armin grew up, he started drawing it. He sketched plates of human body parts, beautifully arranged. He became obsessed with the slaughterhouse, watching pigs on hooks and imagining they were people. For years, he hid this darkness behind a normal face. He joined the military. He was disciplined. But when his mother finally died in 1999, the last barrier was gone. Armin was alone in that 44-room mansion, and he was hungry. He turned to the dark corners of the internet. He found a place called the Cannibal Cafe, and that is where he posted the ad that changed everything.
The internet is a strange place. We all know about chat rooms and forums, but the Cannibal Cafe was different. This was a place where people discussed their darkest fantasies, killing, cooking, and eating other human beings. But here's the twist. It wasn't just killers on this forum. There were victims, willing victims, people who wanted to be breakfast. Some wanted to be barbecued. Some wanted to be fried. It sounds impossible, but Armin Meiwes posted over 60 ads looking for a volunteer. Dozens of people replied. They claimed they wanted to be eaten. But every time they met Armin in real life, every time they saw his slaughter room, they panicked. They backed out. Reality hit them hard. Until February 5th, 2001. Armin received a message from a user named Kator99. The message was short, cold, and terrifying. It simply said, "I am ready." This wasn't a joke. Kator99 was Bernd Brandes, a successful engineer from Berlin. On the outside, Brandes had it all: money, a job, a life. But inside, he was broken. He was battling deep depression and a twisted desire for self-destruction. He didn't just want to die. He wanted to surrender his body completely to someone else. Armin and Brandes chatted for months. They planned every detail. Armin took notes like he was planning a wedding, but he was planning a slaughter. On March 9th, 2001, Brandes took a train to meet Armin. Armin wanted to wait to get to know him for a few days, but Brandes insisted. He said, "No, tonight is the night." They went to the mansion. They went into the slaughter room. Armin had set up a video camera because he wanted to re-watch this moment forever. Brandes swallowed a handful of sleeping pills and painkillers. He lay down on the table. Most people would run. Most people would scream. But Brandes looked at Armin and gave him permission to start. What happened next is something no horror movie could ever replicate.
The camera was rolling. Armin picked up a knife. I won't describe every second of the 4-hour tape found by police, but I will tell you this: Brandes was alive when Armin began to cut him. At one point, Brandes was bleeding out in the bathtub, too weak to stand, and Armin just sat in the other room, reading a book, waiting for him to drain. When the moment finally came, Armin didn't hesitate. He treated Brandes exactly like livestock. He butchered him. He hung him on a meat hook, and then he carefully packed the meat into plastic bags and hid them in the freezer, inside empty pizza boxes. For the next 10 months, Armin lived his dream. He ate over 40 pounds of Bernd Brandes. He described the taste as similar to pork, but a little bitter. He would cook the meat with potatoes and gravy, eat a nice dinner, and feel like his friend was finally with him. Forever. But secrets like this don't stay buried. Police received a tip from someone else on the chat forum. On December 10th, 2002, they raided the mansion. When they walked in, the smell hit them, a mix of metallic blood and old chemicals. Armin was calm. He even showed them the freezer. When an officer opened a pizza box and asked, "What is this?" Armin simply said, "It's meat." But one officer knew immediately that was no animal. The trial shocked the world. Armin argued that it wasn't murder because Brandes asked for it. At first, the court was confused. They only gave him 8 years for manslaughter. The public was furious. But after reviewing that horrifying videotape again, they realized something crucial. Brandes might have consented to the cutting, but he could not consent to murder. Armin was retried and sentenced to life in prison. Today, the mansion still stands. It's a tourist attraction now, but the scariest part isn't the house. It's the internet. Those forums, they still exist. Thousands of people visit them every day, and it makes you wonder, how many other Armins are out there just waiting for a reply?
Subscribe if you believe stories like this should never happen again.